Ayano Kannagi is a powerful magic user called Enjutsushi. She can even summon a fire sword called Enraiha. Ayano fights a giant blue spider in a remote forest. She manages to destroy the monster with no problem. After the battle is over, she goes over to meet her friends. While talking to her friends, she feels a creepy gust of wind all around them. In the meantime, Kazuma Yagami floats on the wind and lands in a nearby house, where a rich man has hired him as an exorcist. This wealthy man has also hired a magic user called Yuki. Yuki thinks Yagami is a total fraud, and he starts to insult him. Kazuma Yagami is actually called Kazuma Kannagi, and he has been exiled from Japan for several years. He was part of the Kannagi house, but because he could not use a fire ability, Enjutsu, he was cast out. Suddenly, the evil demon shows up. Yuki uses his fire Enjutsu and shoots it directly at the demon. It just absorbs the fire and blasts it back at them. Yagami reveals that this is no ordinary demon, it's Youma. Yagami wants even more money from the rich man, and he accepts. Yagami finally uses his wind powers and defeats the demon in mere seconds. At the same time that Yagami has returned, several members of the Kannagi house have been killed. They've been killed by a user that has powerful wind magic. The Kannagi house members have a meeting, and they think that maybe Yagami is behind the killings. They think that Kazuma Yagami wants revenge, and that's why he came back. A task force is set out to defeat Yagami. He tries to explain everything, but they do not listen. Soon, Ayano arrives and tries to fight Yagami. Yagami is too powerful for her, but suddenly, another wind user appears. It seems that Yagami has been telling the truth all along. 5 Kannagi members have died, and they are still no closer to finding the murderer. Genma Kannagi goes to talk to the family elder. There, the two discuss the possibility that maybe it's not Yagami, but someone else who is killing their members. Genma thinks that while his son is not worthy of being in the Kannagi family, he wouldn't go to such desperate measures to get revenge. It is also revealed that one of the reasons why Genma sent Yagami away was because after he failed to activate his powers, Genma wanted Yagami to have a normal life far away from the clan. Genma tells the clan elder that he will contact his son and try to bring him back so they can find out the truth. If he refuses, Genma will use force and stop him once and for all. Ayano has not been able to stop thinking about Yagami. She is furious that he defeated her with his wind powers. She wants to prove that she is stronger than him in battle. Elsewhere, Yagami fights his father. Genma at first tries to reason with his son, but Yagami just wants to show off his power. Yagami uses his wind powers and the two begin their battle. Genma is the one with more experience and is an elite fighter, so Yagami's attacks don't work. The two go back and forth, exchanging attacks for a while, until Genma gets bored. He tells his son that with only 4 years of training, he is no match for him. Genma then starts to summon the ultimate attack, the Shinen. This is a special flame that can only be controlled by the strongest members of the Kannagi clan. Using his special wind power, Yagami still manages to defeat his father. Afterward, Yagami meets up with his brother Ren. The two brothers spend some quality time together, but the mysterious wind user appears and kidnaps Ren. Yagami goes to the Kannagi clan house. He gets attacked by 2 fire users, but he defeats them with no problem. Then he finds the Kannagi leader, and the two talk. Yagami tells him that he has nothing to do with the murders and that Ren has been kidnapped. The Kannagi elder believes him, and tells him that in truth, the Wind clan is behind everything. The two go inside to talk. Suddenly, Ayano appears with her flaming sword ready to attack Yagami, but the elder stops her. They talk, and he explains that the Wind clan is planning to use Ren as a human sacrifice to summon a demon. Both Yagami and Ayano are shocked by this. As the elder speaks, Yagami comes up with a plan. Ignoring his feelings for the Kannagi family, he still wants to save his brother, so he proposes a truce. Until they save his brother, Yagami and Ayano should work together. Ayano has very strong fire powers as well as a powerful blade, and Yagami is the master of the wind. At first, Ayano refuses this idea, but is convinced by the Kannagi elder. Sworn enemies now must become allies. Yagami and Ayano join forces to save Ren and stop the Wind clan from summoning demons. They really hate the idea of working together, but at this point, they have no choice. Kazuma Yagami and Ayano begin their search for Ren. They get into trouble when Ryuya Kazami attacks them. Ayano decides that she will face off against Ryuya alone in battle. In the meantime, Kazuma goes to save Ren and finally gets him away from the wind users. Ayano tries her hardest in the battle against Ryuya, but she still loses. She is really injured and has no choice but to stop fighting. Ryuya then decides to combine his powers with a newly released demon. Ren is finally safe, but not for a long while. The group is now being attacked by an ultra-powerful demon. Ayano, Ren, and Kazuma have to join forces to fight the demon. They have to use and combine all their powers in battle. Kazuma also uses his secret power to defeat the demon. We meet Miseo. She is the sister of the Kannagi clansmen that were killed in the battle with Yagami. Of course, Yagami did not kill them, but the evil wind user. Miseo does not know that, and she wants to personally get revenge against Yagami. Miseo has a main goal, and that is to kill Yagami once and for all. At first, she sends a bunch of assassins after him. All the assassins totally fail, so Miseo decides to attack Yagami personally. Her powers are nowhere near his, and she cannot kill him. Misao is now really depressed, and she thinks that she is a total failure. She even plans to take her own life, but Michael Harley appears. He is a very mysterious person, and he offers Misao a chance to achieve her dream of revenge. With Ren now safe, the Kannagi family once again starts to trust Yagami. They even hire him to investigate a bunch of murders that have happened recently. Yagami does some investigation, and soon it gets revealed that Misao is clearly involved. Kannagi family elders decide to show all the evidence to the police and to the Ogami family clan so that they can handle it. Misao is now enemy number one. Her own family clan now wants to get rid of her. Yagami still does not believe that Misao is all bad, and he actually wants to help her. Ayano is angry at Yagami for trying to help the enemy, and she threatens to fight him. When Yagami tries to leave and help Misao, Ayano actually attacks him with her fire powers. Yagami Kazuma actually has to fight Ayano for a short battle. He manages to avoid her attacks and leaves the battle. Ayano and Ren decide to help Yagami, even if Ayano is still angry at him. The trio find Misao and prepare to battle against her and stop her rampage. Soon, it's revealed that the mysterious boy called Michael Harley is actually using Misao for his own evil plans. Michael tells Misao that she will never be able to defeat Yagami unless she gives up her body. Misao is so overtaken by revenge that she accepts the offer. Michael Harley then uses her body and all of her energy to create a monster dragon. Ren, Kazuma, and Ayano arrive and fight the dragon. They still want to save Misao, and she is part of the dragon. During the fierce battle, Yagami gets injured by the dragon attacks. Ayano then tries to save him. He admits that he only wants to use his wind powers to protect the people closest to him. The battle is finally over, and the dragon gets destroyed. A Hitodama creature is seen at Seiryu Academy. Ayano goes there to investigate, as that is her own school. Yagami is also her bodyguard for this mission. Ayano's best friends, Nasane and Yukari, join them on the mission. It seems that whatever has been causing the trouble at school was actually a pixie called Tiana. Ayano tries to stop Tiana, but soon the pixie decides to prank Ayano non-stop. Ren gets introduced to a girl called Ayumi. The two of them get along pretty well and become fast friends. Soon, Ren finds out that Ayumi has a terrible secret. She is actually part of the Suwabuki family. Well, she was a member, but she ran away. The Sukabui family is the clan with the strongest mages on the planet. Ren realizes that her family is treating Ayumi really badly, so he decides to keep her safe. Because of Ren and his actions, the Kannagi and Suwabuki clan get into an argument. In the meantime, Yagami gets a new mission from Tiana's tribe. He has to find a pixie heirloom that was stolen by the Suwabuki family long ago. Ayumi really wants to go to the beach, and she begs Ren to take her. On the beach, they meet other members of the Suwabuki family. In a shocking twist, it gets revealed that Ayumi is not even a human, she is a clone. She was only created to be used in the Taisai ritual that will seal a creature in Mount Fuji. Meanwhile, Kazuma is still investigating Suwabuki family members, and he is trying to find the treasure they have. Ayumi gets kidnapped by the Suwabuki family. Ayano and Ren decide to go to the family's main house and save Ayumi. Yagami Kazuma also arrives just in time to help them out. Ren wants to save Ayumi and have her live a normal life. Ren figures out that the only way to save Ayumi is to defeat the creature that lives on Mount Fuji. Ayano gets into a massive fight and has to use a lot of her fire powers. Meanwhile, Yagami takes both Ayumi and Ren to the caverns. They manage to find a way out, and soon, the creature in the mountain is free. Ren, Ayano, and Yagami decide to fight the monster. Ayumi also joins in to help her new friends. Ayumi actually manages to control the beast and lower its powers. This gives Yagami a chance to defeat it. Ayumi uses a lot of her powers, and for that reason, she dies after the giant is defeated. She is grateful for meeting Ren and for him trying to save her. Ayano's father decides to set her up with Yagami on a date. He pretends to send them out on a new mission. He tells them to solve a new case at the amusement park. During their date, strange guys start to spy on Ayano, but she is too quick and angry for them. Ayano's friends are also interested in her date, so they follow her around. They also take many photos of her on her date with Yagami. We are introduced to Catherine McDonald, who is a fire mage from the US. Ayano and Yagami have dinner, and Catherine shows up just in time to ruin their fun. Catherine reveals that her main mission is to find the Enreiha and bring it back to her family. Ayano and Catherine get into a massive fight, and finally, Ayano wins. During their fight, they destroy a lot of nearby buildings, and also Ayano damages her dress. Yagami buys some ramen for Ayano to calm her down. Catherine once more challenges Ayano to a fight, but this time it has to be official. Ayano hires Yagami to be her trainer so that she is ready for her massive battle. Yagami accepts, and he starts to train Ayano every day. Very soon, Ayano starts to really fall in love with him. Catherine notices that Ayano has developed feelings for Yagami. For that reason, she proposes a friendly bet in battle. If Catherine wins, she can take Yagami back to America with her. He can stay with Ayano. Ayano gives it her all during the battle, and she wins against Catherine. Catherine still decides decides to not travel back to America and teases Ayano in the future. Ayano's father is called Jugo, and he decides to once again set her up with Yagami. This time, he wants him to go on a hot springs date. Jugo is very proud of himself for coming up with a great plan. Suddenly, Karika, Tachibana, and Genma decide to go to the same hot spring as Ayano and Yagami. Genma and Yagami cannot spend a second with each other without getting into a fight. They start to argue, and they even break part of the hot springs. It seems that this is just their way of communicating with each other. Something strange starts to happen with high school students everywhere. For whatever reason, they get magic powers and start using them in their daily life. The newly created magicians decide to have fun with their powers, and soon, chaos breaks out. Yagami, Nanase, and Ayano are all given a mission to stop these magicians and find out what has caused this strange event. Yagami fights several of these powered-up teenagers and soon meets a girl called Sui Ling. Nanase also proves that even the most normal teenager can beat a magic user, and that powers are not great all the time. Ren goes out with his friends. They soon get attacked by a fire-using magician. Ren has to use his power to defeat this teenager with magic powers. It seems that the teenagers have created a game called Pandemonium. Ren thinks that he should investigate this place and find out more about the game. It seems Pandemonium is a totally different dimension. Ren gets teleported into a new building. Hopefully he can solve the mystery before he gets himself into big trouble. It's revealed that the game Pandemonium has been causing a lot of trouble. It seems that the players that download and use the game are actually getting infected by Yoma demons. Ren is kidnapped, and now Yagami, Ayano, and Karika have to save him. They all figure out that they have to enter the Pandemonium game. In the game, Ayano gets into a fight with Lapis. Lapis uses the appearance of Sui Ling to fool the group during the battle. Yagami manages to find Ren, and they figure out who created the Pandemonium world. A man called Bernhardt Rhodes has created the game, and he is an evil person who Yagami defeated in the past. Yagami confronts Bernhardt about his plans and Lapis. Bernhardt reveals that Lapis is the remaining part of Sui Ling and her soul. Yagami failed to protect Sui Ling in the past because he was too weak. Yagami attacks Bernhardt and Lapis joins the battle. She has a power that is called Swordmaster, and she destroys the building in one slice. Yagami manages to save Ayano, Karika, and Ren. Yagami decides that he will kill both Bernhardt and Lapis for what they did. A new Pandemonium game appears and starts to cause problems once more. Magicians all over the country participate in the game and fight brutal matches. Yagami goes into one of these battles and attacks everyone that stands in his way. He is trying to find the location of the Pandemonium source. Yagami becomes really brutal and starts to use the methods of a villain. He allows Nanase to be kidnapped, and he even attacks Catherine without mercy. Ayano learns that Yagami is now becoming more cruel and evil by the day, and she is the only one who can stop him. Yagami fights a magician and defeats him in a brutal way. Afterwards, we see that Utsumi is planning for a Pandemonium to appear in the park right at midnight. Utsumi also talks with Bernhardt and announces that he wants to take over the entire operation. Bernhardt reveals that he was the only one who gave Utsumi his powers. Catherine is now in hospital, and she talks with Ayano. Ayano promises to bring back Yagami. Genma thinks that he will have no choice but to kill his son and Bernhardt. Ayano and Ren decide to save Yagami before that happens. Soon, Pandemonium appears, and there, Ayano and Ren find Yagami. Yagami admits that this is not about revenge. He just wants to kill Bernhardt. Ayano finally summons Enreha, and she goes to attack Yagami. She actually uses a Crimson Flame attack during battle. Later, she tries to explain to Yagami that he does not have to turn into a killer. Yagami finally sees that he is no longer alone. He has Ayano and Ren by his side. He decides to team up with them and defeat the Pandemonium together. The trio face off against Lapis. Lapis starts to perform a summoning ritual of Belial. Belial is the prince of all demons in hell. Lapis wants to become human, and she will use others to gain her humanity. Ayano and Yagami attack Lapis. They combine their powers and actually defeat Belial so that he cannot enter the human world. Gemna soon arrives at the battle and stops Bernhardt. The battle is finally over, and Yagami goes back to his family home. He realizes that he must let go of his past and move to the future. Ayano and Yagami agree to stick together in the future. Yagami slaps Ayano on her rear as a way to congratulate her, but she falls into a nearby pond. Ayano is now furious at him and starts to chase Yagami all over the yard. Ren is proud of his family and their future together.